I was just like exhausted, but full of inner energy. Does that make sense? Like I was feeling so, I don't know. It was just like weird, but I was crashing. And so, hey, welcome to another episode, Sis Stop Sulkin Podcast. I am your host, Miss Tasha Talks Life. Welcome. If you're new here, welcome to my corner of the world. So I want to kind of jump right in because I'm still like bubbling over and full with, I don't know, I have this energy going through me right now amongst being, if you could hear my voice, um, my voice is going to sound like this for the next couple of weeks because I am in football season and my two little ones play football and they have games on the every Sunday. So this is just get used to it. But anyway, I wanted to talk about my weekend, and I wrote a blog about this already. You can go to tashatalkslife.com/blog to read it. And it's titled My Weekend of Spiritual Depth. And my God. Okay, so let me start with, it's not a quote today. Usually I start each episode with a quote. It's not a quote today. It is a scripture. And it's from Philippians 2:13. That energy is God's energy, an energy deep within you. God himself willing and working at what will give him the most pleasure. And I was looking for a quote and I put in a quote about tapping into the spiritual energy. And this came up and it's so fitting because the energy in me that I'm feeling deep within me, it's God himself willing and working at what will give him the most pleasure. And that just makes me feel so warm. Okay, so let me just get into the weekend. Starting Friday. I'm just going to paint the picture for you really quick. Friday, I went to work. I'm subbing in a school district. And I believe that God has a mysterious way of working. And so I did summer school and it was great. And then the principal asked me to put in my application for the school year to sub. And I said, all right, cool. Like I can go in because I have, I'm an educational consultant outside. And so I can go in whenever, like I don't have any clients or whenever it's slow or whatever. And I was like, okay. So I did it and I could choose. I can decide if I want to go in today or not. And then I was asked to come in on the first day of school. And I'm like, okay, they need help. I have the time to do it. So I'm going to say yes. And as I was doing it and I showed up every single day, I decided that, okay, I can't do Mondays because I have a lot of meetings and stuff like that. And so I said, I can come in every day except Monday. And she said, fine. And I'm getting sub pay. And I didn't take on any new cases going back to school or anything like that. So just is like working out. And then I realized like, okay, if I'm going to be doing it anyway, I might as well. And it's not feeling overwhelming. Let me not say it's not feeling overwhelming. What I'm saying is that because it's a new grade level, it's 5th grade. I've never taught 5th grade before, but it's not feeling forced. I'm not getting that when I listen to my body, I'm not feeling discomfort. So, and the team that I'm working with is phenomenal. They've been so helpful. So anyway, long story short, I decided, talking to my girlfriend, I was like, if I'm going to be here anyway, 4 days out of the week, I might as well get paid for it. And so I decided, after really sitting with myself and relaxing my ego, because that's what it is. I was like, I left my job in 2023. It's been a whole year, and now I'm going back to doing what I left for. And for a hot second, I thought about like, what are people going to think and this and that. I'm like, girl, you just signed a 5-figure contract for your your new coaching and mentorship, you are helping out and it's also helping you and you don't feel discomfort. Like, get over yourself. And so I said, fine. So now I'm still subbing right now, but it's in the works of taking on the classroom and getting regular teacher salary, which when I left my teacher salary, rounded up, it was six figures. Like, it would have been six figures this year because you get an increase every year. But anyway, so I say that to say that God is moving in a mysterious way, and I'm like, okay, like, I'm here for it. And so that's how my weekend is starting when I say weekend of spiritual depth, because Friday I had the conversation with the assistant principal who talked to the principal about it. And then I Friday evening was my church women's ministries shut-in. And what a shut-in is when you come late at night, you break bread, you pray, games, fellowship, community, uplifting, and all of that until the morning. So ours was from 9 to 4, and then they made breakfast for the morning. So anyway, I was extremely tired. My Fridays consist of relaxation and wine and sweatpants and Netflix or Hulu, right? And I'm intentional about that because I run all day long every other day. And so Fridays after work, even when I was working for myself, I don't do much on Fridays. So I was a little reluctant, which was nothing but the enemy trying to stop me. And I went anyway because I said, that's my commitment. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I went. Now with the shut-in, you usually come in comfortable clothes, you usually wear like your sweats, pajamas, or whatever. I didn't have time for any of that because in my mind, I didn't really feel like it. And I was like, whatever. So I came in my regular clothes that I had on all day. And we started playing games. We uh, prayed, we sang, and then we did like our deep dive prayer. And where everybody's praying, where the elders and the evangelists and the ministers are praying, and everybody's like tapping in or whatever. And when I tell you God was in that building, I felt like I wanted to take off running a couple of times. And I'm like, girl, relax. Like, but it was just the start, and it was just so good. And it was so needed because we hadn't had a shut-in since before COVID. And so it was just so powerful. And I really, so there's some things, of course, I always come with some type of takeaways or some type of tips. And so in this moment, there was some speakers like that brought like many topics, and they were like new speakers, which was phenomenal because they were stretched and they had to surrender to God. And so um, my sister was one of the speakers, and she talked about surrendering and surrendering on a deeper level and what that looked like and felt like. And it was just so powerful. And so some of my takeaways, I have 6 takeaways, and there may be more as I go through this, but I don't want this episode to be long. But my first takeaway is surrendering. All right. And surrender has been my theme over the past couple of months, where I'm just like, God, if you don't do it, it won't be done. Like, I just have to surrender this. Like, whatever it is that you need from me, whatever it is that I need to not do or to do, I surrender that to you. So in my mornings of prayer and in my mornings of meditation, I am in complete surrender. And that is difficult sometimes because you want to be in control. If you're a recovering control freak like me, you want to know the end. And so just continue to put it back, put it back, put it back. And so we prayed, and then we had a prophetess that spoke so much life and so much change and growth over the women individually. So you sat in the chair, the elders connected, we as the sisters held space, and this prophetess, bless her heart, prayed and anointed these women. And one thing I would say about prophets is that a true prophet is someone that confirms what God has already said to you or been trying to say to you and you haven't been listening, because I don't believe that God will speak to another person before he speaks to me about me. So whenever someone is saying, God said this, it must align and be already something that's resonating in you, nothing new. That's just my interpretation of it. That's how I feel about it. If somebody's coming up to me and just saying something randomly, I am a little leery about it. I'm not saying that it's not a thing. I don't know, but I just believe that I am so connected to my God that he's not going to tell someone else something more about me without telling me first. All right. So the first thing that I learned is to surrender, or my biggest takeaway was to surrender in totality. There were sisters in that room that was there for a reason. They were looking for, when I say they, I'm talking about myself included, a breakthrough. And that would be my second point, was pursue the breakthrough with your praise and your gratitude. We were so tapped in that you can feel the energy bouncing off of each other. So it was just so amazing. And then, so that was great, right? I mean, beyond great. And then the next day, Sunday, Friday at 4 a.m, we took like a little silent time with God. I fell asleep. I think most of us fell asleep, but then it was time to get up and break bread and do all of that. And so I decided to go home because I don't eat this that early anyway. And I went home, went to bed 4:30, and then I had to get up to get my kids to football by 8 o'clock. Okay. Excuse me, lie, back up. Get my son to dance by 9 o'clock. So I got up about 8 o'clock, and we didn't, maybe later than that because I snoozed a couple of times. So I got him out the house. He was late to dance, needless to say. He's supposed to be there at 9. He got to about 9:15. Luckily, it's right around the corner, but he made it, and he has danced all day long. So I'm back and forth all day. In that, I had a bag of chips, a Nerd Clusters rope. Those things got me in a chokehold, and some mushroom coffee. This is Saturday. So now Saturday, I have to go. Saturday night, I got a DM from this lady on, I want to say it was Wednesday. I got a DM on Wednesday from this lady about being honored as the top 40 visionaries in New York City. And so I'm like, wait, what? Me? Like, what? And I go and I start looking through her social media, her website and stuff. And she pretty much goes from city to city honoring top 40 visionaries. At first I felt like this can't be like real. Like this is like a scam or something, limiting beliefs. And then I reached out and I asked her a couple of questions. And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, where's it going to be? And she was like, Brooklyn. And I'm like, okay. So I'm looking for more information. She really wasn't giving me any, but I signed up. I put in my information. First, back up, I prayed. And I said, okay, God, is this a scam? Is this something that I should be doing? My friend is having his 50th birthday party. I really want to go. But I'm really like trying to line up with your divine plan, divine alignment. And I got the inclination to go. God said go. And so I filled out the form, sent my logo, my picture, and all of this. This was Wednesday. I think she DM'd me. This was between like Thursday-ish. I asked my cousin to go with me. She said yes. Another friend was supposed to come. And then now I'm feeling like, because I'm not getting much information. I know it's going to rain. I didn't Google. I know Brooklyn is too far. And then by Friday, I'm like, okay, it's tomorrow. What is the information? The woman sends me, her assistant sends me the flyer with my picture on it. I'm like, okay, cool. I still don't know where it is. I still don't know what I'm supposed to be speaking on. I don't know any of this. And I just started preparing, anyway. And then finally I got the information. I mean, either Friday night or early Saturday morning, and I had to be there Saturday. So I was a little on edge, but I just said, you know what? I'm just going to let go of expectations. I'm going to let go of what I think it should be. I'm going to let go of how I feel about her and how the event is going and what it is. And I'm just going to just show up. I had no idea what I was going to wear because I always wait to the last minute. I'm telling you, once I get to a point, the first thing I'm going to do is hire a chauffeur and then a designer. Not because I can't dress myself, because I really have a little style, but I don't want to have to think about it. And I always wait till the last minute, and then I get like worked up, and then I'm hitting up my cousin, who is my low key designer, and being like, okay, what can I wear? Can I put this together? And I'm sending pictures with FaceTiming and then whatever. So I finally came up with something, and I'm glad I didn't go over top because it was very casual, comfy, cute type of vibe. And when I tell you, I was the first speaker too. I got there right on time. I was the first speaker. And when I tell you that God met me there, we were, me and Nikki, my cousin that went with me, we were already overflowing with, we had the energy. Like we was just like, okay, God, like we are just, this is from the shut in, we are ready for fired up. So we get here and then it's like, yeah, it's a business experience, a business event, but God was there and everybody in there was like talking about God. And I started off with my book, Stop Sulking, God's Plan is Greater, and how to have vision, you know, for your life and what that looks like. And then everybody just started coming and it was just like boom, boom, boom. It was so good. And I mean, granted, by this time I had what I already told you that I ate, another bag of chips, and a Celsius energy drink, which I never drink those, but I was just so burnt out from Friday and earlier Saturday that I'm like, I need something. And my sister usually talks about like, get one, whatever. So I had that. Now the event started at 6:30. It's probably, we're supposed to eat, but it's probably like 9:30 and we're still going and still going. So it's like it was bittersweet because it was phenomenal. I could feel God's presence and it was so powerful, but yet my stomach was like, okay, girl. And then we didn't get out of there until a little right before 12, like literally 5 minutes before 12, we got to the car garage because after 12, the fee went up or something crazy. So we literally got there at like, I think 11:55. And then they did give us some food, but it was like pasta. The pasta, I don't know if it's because I was hungry, but the pasta was amazing, but it was only pasta and it was late. And I don't usually, so I had a little bit to go because I took out to go can. And then I get to bed we left at maybe like 1:30, 2:00. And then I got to get up for 8 to get my kids to football for Sunday. And I was just like exhausted, but full of inner energy. Does that make sense? Like I was feeling so, I don't know. It was just like weird, but I was crashing. And so Sunday, football, then I had like laundry, and I went to the grocery store and bought dinner, and then I got home and was like, I can't cook. I'm too tired to cook. So then I had to go back out and buy food. And yeah, it just a busy weekend, but also a God-filled weekend so that's why I call it the weekend of spiritual depth. But so really quickly before I end, I just want to share some of my takeaways. I already told you, like, surrendering in totality, like being detached from what the outcome is, surrendering to God's plan, surrendering to, even if it may feel a little uncomfortable. I'm not talking about the discomfort of knowing that it's not the right thing, but the uncomfortableness of being stretched. Pursuing a breakthrough with praise and gratitude. When you go to God, and not always when you need something, but if you're looking for a breakthrough, you're looking for clarity, you're looking for strength, you have to go in pursuit of that with praise and with gratitude. Not being afraid to raise your hand, not being afraid to yell out to God, not being afraid to jump up and down if that's what's called, not being afraid to purge the tears, whatever that is, because guess what? That's what he's looking for. Remember Philippians 2:13, the energy is God's energy, and energy deep within you, God himself willing and working at what will give him the most pleasure. The best thing that you could, because God needs nothing from you. So the best thing that you can do is give him the praise. The best thing you can do is give him the glory. Number 3, holding space for your sisters. Like we were in there when we were praying for one sister. I feel 90% of the women, I don't know, I can't say everybody, but was literally standing in the way for them. Like we were holding that space for them, not thinking about ourselves, not praying over ourselves, but literally whatever they was dealing with, we were tapping into that for them to get that breakthrough. 4, fasting and praying more. So not subconsciously, but like low key, I was in a fasting state. I had very little in my body for 3 days. And then I didn't even eat dinner on Sunday until about 7 o'clock. So, because I was just so tired, I chose sleep over food. But when you fast and you're coming, my mom said this to me that Sunday when I was telling her, like, I hadn't eaten, and we was like recapping, and she was like, when you're in a fasted state, the spirit dwells in you deeper, or you're more prone to, because you're in a pure state with nothing in your body. And that's why people fast and pray. And I'm like, here I am, this big age. I knew it was a thing and I knew the importance of it, but the energy that I felt this weekend with having limited food in my body, I want to pursue that more. So I will be fasting and praying more. So that was one of my takeaways. Another thing that was a theme for me that was spoke directly to me is being chosen and being called is two different things. And I truly believe that I am chosen for this mission, for this assignment, because it's been said to me on multiple occasions, but also like if I'm reading, it'll come up. In my Divine Collective community, it's coming up. At the shut-in, it came up. At the Saturday experience, it came up. Like, I know that I remember a couple of months ago, I thought that maybe I was being called to ministry as far as to minister and to preach, but that's not. Once I really sat with it and not listened to what other people thought for me and really thought about myself, I'm not called to ministry in that way. I'm chosen to align with what God wants for me and to be a light for other people. And so just knowing the difference between that was a huge takeaway for me. And then last, being quiet in its infancy. Um, I have a lot of moving parts going on. I'm naturally a sharer. I like to encourage and inspire people, but I also realize in this season that some people, when you share too soon, they are literally praying against what you are sharing or praying for. And this is going to be a challenge for me because I'm always like, sometimes I just think I talk too much and I have to like stop. But I hear God when He tells me that. Friday morning or Friday morning, because Saturday and Sunday there was no routine. I could not. But Friday morning, prior to all of this, I was reading my word and I was reading Proverbs, I think. And I can't remember the exact chapter, but it pretty much was saying, like, you don't need to talk about what you have going on because no one, like, in the future or what's coming, because no one knows the day or the time or what's going to really happen. So if you're talking about it and then it doesn't happen, now it looks like, A, you're a liar, or, it wasn't meant. And now you're talking about something that didn't happen. So that's something that I have to learn, and I'm up for it, and I'm listening. Right. And so, yeah, like this weekend was powerful and exhausted. I'm still tired and I'm still full of energy. It's weird, but I just had to share. I don't know. And and I hope there was some blessing or some takeaway or something that you can relate to. If so, let me know in the comments. What was a takeaway from this talk? Is there anything that I said that resonated with you? I know my people that follow me and that listen to my show are faith-filled believers. And so if so, let me know in the comments below. And I'm going to end with the mindset declaration for this episode, which is very personal to me. I try to make it where it is always personal to me, but to where you can relate to it. And I hope you can. But it reads, I am the chosen few. I surrender to God in totality. My heart is pure and my burden is light. So repeat that after me. Write that in your journal. Just surrender. Take these tips. I hope you wrote them down. And I just want you to have a pure heart. I want you to pursue God's plan and to be well. Have the most amazing week. I love you, and I will see you in the next episode. Till next time.